What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. It is officially trade deadline week, and today we're starting it off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because everything we heard about the Cavaliers has always been about Donovan Mitchell. Are they going to trade Donovan Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell is the worst kept secret in the NBA. Well, right now, they're currently the third seed in the Eastern Conference and looking pretty damn good. But with the way they flamed out in the playoffs last year, it does make me wonder if this team is going to be semi-aggressive at the deadline. I don't know if that means trading Jarrett Allen, because he's been really good for them this year as well. Evan Mobley, of course, has missed some time. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Cavaliers do, if they do anything at all. But of course, probably going to have trades throughout the week, so I will be posting rebuilds as fast as I can when trades happen. But other than that, let's go ahead, jump in. Let's kick off this week talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because, guys, we're going live on Thursday during deadline day. And of course, as trades happen this week, which I assume they will, maybe we don't get one until Thursday, we'll see. I will be doing videos as fast as I can, as long as the trade is very significant. Obviously, there's some trades that don't deserve a video, but most do. So regardless, let's talk about the Cavaliers. So Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Jarrett Allen. This is a really nice core, but the way they flamed out in the playoffs last year kind of makes me wonder if the Cavs should be trying to do something at the deadline. Of course, there's been like some rumors about maybe Jarrett Allen being moved. That way Evan Mobley can be a center full time. But with the way Jarrett Allen's been playing this year, you don't want to sell him like too low, because what you'd want to get for Jarrett Allen, of course, you're not looking for a rebuilding package like draft picks. You don't want that. What you want is a wing that could help you win now. That's why you would trade Jarrett Allen. I know there's some rumors about Wiggins, but man, if I'm Cleveland, I'm not trading Allen for Wiggins unless the Warriors are giving up like a lot of future first, which I don't think the Warriors would do, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate to the deadline, and if I were the GM of the Cavaliers, what I would do. That's what we'll do today, basically, to kick off trade deadline week. Maybe you never even see this video because a trade happens as I'm recording, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and fix rotation up. We're going to simulate to the deadline, and that's where we're going to start things off. The bench could also use some improvement as well, so we could probably just maybe focus on that. There's a chance we don't make like a significant move here because, as I said, Jarrett Allen's been really good. Of course, Mobley and Jarrett Allen's a really nice front court. Will it work in real life? Remains to be seen. They only had one playoff series together, so we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys in like literally, 5 days at the deadline. So let's get to it. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. And the way Prize Picks works is you choose between 2 to 6 players, 2 players being 3 times your entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times your entry. But basically, you look at the numbers on the board and you go over or under on the projections that they give you. Not only do they just have like simple stats, they have all kinds of crazy stats. You can go to interception combos on the NFL. On the NBA, it's a little early in the day, but you could go to rebounds and assists. You can go to block shots. You can go to turnovers. Like, there's all kinds of stuff to choose from. But there's no better time to sign up for Prize Picks than right now. Of course, the Super Bowl is literally on Sunday, but they have a free square on Patrick Mahomes. If you have not signed up for Prize Picks, this is free money right here. Free square. They also are giving out discounts, I believe, throughout the week. The first one is Travis Kelce. So a lot of discounts to be given out this week. It is a great time to sign up for Prize Picks. If you do sign up for Prize Picks, use code Crushables. They match for the first deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $100. And the way I use Prize Picks, is DGF's optimizer and correlation tool. Basically, what the optimizer does, it compares discrepancies across sports books. So if you take a look at, for instance, at this guy on CS2, 24 kills, you got a hot streak at 26.5. So you're getting a clear discrepancy here on 24, while the juice is also on the over at 26.5. And then if there's like a better example, like Cameron Johnson, for instance, under on PRA, because every single sports book has it at 22.5, while Prize Picks has it at 23.5. Another tool I love about DGFs is correlation. Correlation is a huge edge in daily fantasy. If you've been using this unit or this tool since August 18th, you'd be up 826.3 units. They have all kinds of stuff on here. They have CS2, League of Legends, NFL, soccer, hockey. There's so many sports on here. It's a lot of fun. So basically what happens is you just put the slip in and forget about it. No, literally it takes 5 seconds. It's that easy. So basically, if Purdy and Mahomes are throwing for over their yards, and more than likely their receivers are going over as well, right? So like Brock Purdy throwing over 263.5, then obviously Ayuk and Debo more than likely going over. Same thing with Mahomes and MVS and Rashid Rice. But if you want to check out any of these tools, links down in the description below. If you want to check out Prize Picks, links is down in the description below. But other than that, let's get back to the rebuild. Let's see what we're going to do. So I think we're all very aware the biggest thing this team needs is a wing player, a legitimate wing starting at that small forward spot. They signed Strus in free agency, which is great, but obviously you need a 3-and-D wing. That's what you need the most. Whether that means you trade Jarrett Allen to get it, that's possible. Or if you do something else to get him, that's also possible. So, of course, a dream scenario would be like Mikal Bridges, but the Cavaliers don't have the assets to pull that off. That would be a dream scenario for them. But there is a couple of other players you could look at. Of course, OG would have been perfect as well, but he would have been really costly to get. But a player that I think could be plausible for the Cavaliers, and I don't think he'd cost a ton. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he costs way more than I think. But he's on the Hawks. That is DeAndre Hunter. I also have seen some rumors about DeAndre Hunter potentially being moved, of course. So that would be the kind of guy that I would be looking at if I'm Cleveland. I don't think it'd be too tough to get him. If Atlanta just simply wanted to get off his contract, that could definitely be an angle. But I don't know if the Cavaliers have like a lot of expiring salary. But you do have Isaac Okoro. Don't know how much the Hawks value him. But DeAndre Hunter would be the target I would want. 13 points per game this season, 39% shooting from 3. So that is what I'm going to try here. If I was the GM of the Cavaliers, I would be looking at the wings on the market. I would be like, okay, we don't have the assets for this guy. Don't have the assets for this guy. Maybe I can call up Atlanta and see if we have the assets for DeAndre Hunter. So do they is the question. I have no idea, but we're going to try to cook something up. So assuming the Hawks, motivation is to get off his contract. Let's assume that is the case. I don't know if I can really help him with that because I don't have like any like crazy expiring salary, right? So like I could throw in Isaac Okoro. I think Okoro would probably have to be in the trade. So Okoro is going to be in the trade. We're going to need $8 more million. So that would require Georges Niang probably being in the trade. That would be perfect to obviously match that salary. But is there, and it's only a 3-year deal, so it's like the worst contract in the world. It's Dean Wade, actually, well, Dean Wade's contract isn't, short either, but we maybe could convince Cleveland, Dean Wade, or Atlanta, Dean Wade maybe instead. And then let's say we throw in Damian. I don't know if we can do this. Hold on. We're going to figure this out. So, and then I take Wesley Matthews. We need one more player in this trade, and that's going to probably be Garrison Matthews. So both the Matthews, just realized they have 2 Matthews on their team. Not going to work. Damian Jones makes a little too much or not enough money. Ty Jerome maybe would be no, I think we need a little bit more of that. So I think we're gonna have to include Georges Niang in this trade to work. So we're gonna move one of the Matthews. We're gonna go Georges Niang in this trade. I'm gonna go Wesley Matthews instead, just because I feel like he'd probably be easier to move. I mean, he's 37 rather than a 27-year-old. So Okoro, Georges Niang for DeAndre Hunter. Obviously, the Cavaliers, I don't even know how many picks. I think they have their own 2024 first, but maybe you could trade your right to swap in the future. Again, this would be just to get off DeAndre Hunter's contract. I don't even know if this is the best value, honestly. Or you could also convince me that Karis LeVert might be somebody that the Hawks could be interested in. If they're going to keep building around Trae Young, LeVert could definitely be a nice piece over there for them. But we're going to try this. So it's Okoro, Niang, and a first-round pick, with a swap in the future for DeAndre Hunter. They get a rookie contract, Isaac Okoro, and a, cheaper contract. It's got 3 years left, but obviously it's not worth $20 million per year. So it's going to be a little bit money saving for the Atlanta Hawks, and they do agree. So that would be my target if I was the Cleveland Cavaliers, is DeAndre Hunter. I think he makes a ton of sense. I don't think he'd cost a ton, but maybe he does. I don't know. So Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, Mobley, Jarrett Allen. I don't think I'm going to trade Jarrett Allen yet at this point. I think getting DeAndre Hunter is exactly what we needed to add to this team. So our depth obviously doesn't get much better, but we'll focus on that in the offseason. We needed a wing player. We accomplished that in DeAndre Hunter. Hopefully that helps us out for the rest of the year. And then we're a 4-star balance still. So I'm going to go ahead with the rest of year 1. We'll see how this team finishes out. So year number 1 comes to an end, and it was a pretty successful season for the most part. Obviously, what matters is having success in the playoffs. This team flamed out last year. Another thing is you still want to convince Donovan Mitchell to stay here. So if you could have some success in the playoffs, that would definitely help your case. 27 points from Donovan Mitchell, 21 from Garland, 15 from Allen, and 15 from Mobley, and then 14 from LeVert, 12 from DeAndre Hunter, which, by the way, it's not like I have a hard task on my hands today. The Cavaliers are a very good team in 2K, so it's not like I'm going to be at an impossible task here to get the Cavaliers a championship. So this should be an easy video because the Cavs are just so OP in 2K. But you never know. Rozier, Hero, Jimmy Butler, Kale Martin, Bam Adebayo, and Jaime Jaquez. Well, this is our rotation. So obviously, looking to have some playoff success, doing some in the late current round and beat the Miami Heat in round 1. We do just that. So that's a great start. And now we get to play the Indiana Pacers. Embiid, of course, is going to miss some time with a meniscus injury, which really sucks for the 76ers. Definitely probably puts more pressure on Morey to make a trade at the deadline to get Maxey some help while Embiid recovers. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. But We have the Indiana Pacers now. We have Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Mathurin, Siakam, Turner, Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin, and TJ McConnell. Somebody come around against them. And we are going to be down 2-4 and lose in the second round. So not great. Indiana, so far, the Siakam trade paid off until they did lose to the Bucks and the Clippers going to win the championship. So, unfortunate. But I do think we have some more work to do. I think if we could, obviously make the bench better, that would probably be ideal. So let's get straight to work. So staff signing, we have JB Bickerstaff, which, we made it to the second round. I'm cool with keeping him for another year. If we flame out next year, then probably got to move on after that. But let's go to Shot Doctor, and let's see what we got going on here. So I'm going to sign a post D coach because we didn't get the one we wanted. And we got it. So coach staff's completely full. And now we go straight to draft night. I believe we have our pick this year. I think this is the last year the Cavaliers even have their own pick. I don't know if there's anything I'm looking to do particularly. I mean, LeVert's contract is expiring. If I can trade him and a 25th overall pick, and that gets me a couple role players, I'd be cool with that. But I'm not really sure if that's viable or not. So we're going to see. We can trade up to 7, which obviously probably is not realistic. But and the 76ers probably shouldn't even have that pick either, by the way. Don't understand why 2K I just don't get it. Whatever. We're going to see if I can get some for LeVert in 25. We're actually going to go ahead and do this trade with the Washington Wizards. We're going to send LeVert 25 and a second round pick over to the Wizards for Kispert and Landry Shamet. The main piece we're getting out of this is, of course, Corey Kispert. But we're also getting Landry Shamet in here, who's not a bad guard as well off the bench. So this gives us just a little extra depth here. So we'll go ahead and take that on. And Landry Shamet, of course, also could be moved in the future if we need to. But Kispert's a great addition. Really progresses. Really good shooter, of course. So I think that was well worth it. He was the main piece in the trade. So let's go straight to player options. We trade 25. It would have been important to add a rookie skill contract to this team, but I like the addition of Corey Kispert nonetheless. I'm going to go ahead and extend the offer on all three. We're going to extend the offer on all three of those guys. And then free agency, we have no free agents to worry about. Do we have an MLE? We do not. Not a crazy MLE, but we do have the ability to sign at least one player. So let's see. We probably, for the most part, we have Ty Drum as a backup point guard. Not really my ideal preference. Sam Merrill and Landry Shamet. I think what we could do with Landry Shamet is move him to point guard. I think he goes up. He goes down. But we're still going to move him to point guard. So he might be our backup point guard next year. Sam Merrill, really good shooter. I don't know if I can count on him to being backup 2, but we'll see. Max Strus, we're going to keep him around. They signed him to a big deal, so we'll keep him as the backup 3. Just got Corey Kispert as the backup 4. Backup 5 is probably where we need to focus our attention to. So I saw Mo Bamba. I see Lord Cornette, but none of these center options really intrigue me that much. I think what I want to do is get a backup point guard just because I don't know if I can count on Landry Shamet. We might actually flip Landry Shamet for a backup 5 using that salary. So we can sign Chris Dunn, Kimmel Walker, Skylar Mays, Dennis Smith Jr. I'm going to go ahead and sign Chris Dunn, who's been okay as a backup or as a starting guard for Utah. So I'll sign him to start things off. So we'll sign Chris Dunn. We'll renounce everybody but Isaiah Mobley. And then we're going to see what we can get for Landry Shamet's contract. I can only, at this point, trade seconds, but hopefully that is good enough to get me a center somewhere. So I'm going to try to send 3 second-round picks over to the Spurs for Zach Collins. Obviously, Shamet and Dean Wade hold no value to the San Antonio Spurs whatsoever. So what we're doing to entice him to do the trade is 3 seconds if possible. They do agree. So just like that, we get our backup 5 in Zach Collins, which I absolutely love that addition. For Kispert, backup 4, Strus, Sam Merrill, and Chris Dunn. So bench, it got a little bit better. Not the best, but it got a little bit better. Shooting guard wise, I don't think we're going to be able to get anybody else. We're going to have to rely on Sam Merrill to hopefully progress. I don't even know if he will or not, but let's go to player progression. Craig Porter, Monty Bates, Mobley are all back. So we have Mobley up, which is great. Garland is up. That's awesome. Kispert's up, which I knew he would be. Craig Porter is also up to 76. Did not see that coming, but I'm happy to see it. And then Strus is down. And then Sam Merrill is still at 76. So not too shabby. Let's go straight to our rotation. And let's see what this team's about to look like. I mean, I'm pretty confident this team at least being good, right? Like, we're going to be a good team. The ultimate goal is to win a championship. Now, we're getting to the point where you really have to decide what you're going to do with Donovan Mitchell. Because if Mitchell gives you no indication he is going to resign, you really have to think about your options. Because I think this is the last year of his deal. Or a player option. Yes, so before a player option. So if you're the Cavaliers GM, you have to have full confidence either. Like, it's going to have to be like a LaMarcus Aldridge situation. I'll just like explain this for example. Back when LaMarcus Aldridge was a free agent it made no sense to trade LaMarcus at that point because low-key the Blazers were really good that year and somewhat contenders until Wesley Matthews tore his Achilles that year. So if you're the Cavaliers and your team is really good, but Mitchell is giving you no indication you resign, it might be worth the risk to just try to go for it. But if you're not good enough and Mitchell is saying he's not going to resign or whatever, he's not giving you an indication he's going to, then you might need to move him. But of course, we don't really have to deal with that in 2K. But we're going to go ahead and simulate to the end of this year. I don't plan on stopping the deadline, but if I do, I will show you. But hopefully this team is just good enough, which I assume they will be. So another really solid season, of course, no surprise in the regular season. Evan Mobley making an offensive first team is also really great to see, but we end up as a second seed in the East behind the Atlanta Hawks. So if you take a look at the player stats, you had 26 from Mitchell, 23 from Garland, 17 from Mobley, 12 from Jarrett Allen, 11 from DeAndre Hunter, 10 from Zach Collins, 9 from Craig Porter Jr., and 8 from Corey Kispert, and 5 from Sam Merrill. So Mitchell did not give us the option to re-sign him at the deadline, which sucked, but it was to be expected. So I guess Craig Porter Jr. was our backup point guard and not Chris Dunn, which is interesting. And then Strus is completely out of the rotation, which sucks, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to do. Brooklyn in round 1. Ben Simmons, Mikal, Johnson, Toppin, Claxton, Thomas, Sharp, Dorian Finney-Smith, DeAndre Jordan. Obviously, it would suck really, really badly to lose to Brooklyn in round 1, and thankfully we don't do that. Now we get the Pacers again, who beat us last year. Would love some sweet revenge here. Hopefully we can do just that. And we are going to be in an even series with them. So, Indiana has given us some problems, which I did not expect. But if we can win this huge game 5, we should be golden. But right now, we may not. And we are going to lose game 5. So, Indiana, giving us problems was not on my bingo card today. But here we are. So, Indiana is going to knock us out in round 2 years in a row. Man, that sucks unless we come back, which we're not going to. So, not great. Not great. If you're Donovan Mitchell and you flamed out in round 2 years in a row to the Indiana Pacers, who were the lower seed, make it all the way to the finals, Pacers going to win the championship. It doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great if you're Mitchell. But thankfully, he doesn't have a choice in this matter. We're going to re-sign him. But hey, man, in real life, that was the case. I would definitely be nervous if I was the Cavaliers head coach. But I think you got to fire Bickerstaff after that. Losing twice, I think you got to go get someone else. Mike Brown, who has been in Cleveland before. I think we bring him back to the Cleveland Cavaliers for a good old reunion. And then let's get like Jack Vaughn to be our assistant, which he says no, actually. All right, we'll go for somebody else. Underwood, we got Westbrook, who actually has good ratings. Not Russell Westbrook, but Westbrook. And then big man coach, and then we should be golden. So I don't know if I'll do too much else. The only thing I'm really focused on, of course, is re-signing Donovan Mitchell. Just because I guess we could upgrade the bench a little bit too. But Mitchell is the main thing. Like, we got to re-sign him. So Donovan Mitchell declined that player option, which is to be expected. Will he resign in Cleveland? Obviously remains to be seen. We have Corey Kispert, Craig Porter, and Evan Mobley all as free agents, which, of course, is all very important. So we're going to spend a lot of money this offseason. So Donovan Mitchell, to start things off, giving him a full 5-year deal. And he is not going to re-sign with us. Wow. That would be unfortunate. I'm going to have to try to give him a no-trade clause to see if that would change his mind. But if he does leave us for Houston, which I don't know if that's the team would, leave us for. But if he does, it's a realistic possibility. I might just let it ride. If he leaves us for the Rockets, we might have to just deal with the consequences. So let's see if I change his mind with the no trade clause. We did. So we do thankfully get him back. That would have been a huge loss. Kispert will resign. Of course. Oh, that's Isaiah Mobley. Evan Mobley's here too. So we're going to resign. Well, I guess I can't send an offer to Evan Mobley just yet, but of course we'll match anything he's offered. So Corey Kispert, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink a 5-year deal to Evan Mobley, of course. So yeah, we get everyone locked up, which is great. A lot of money is being spent, which we knew was going to happen. And now we're probably just focused on getting Craig Porter Jr. back and running this thing back. So I don't really know if we have too many other options we can do. So if we can get Craig Porter Jr. back, that'd be fantastic, because he was our backup point guard last year and he did a decent job at it. And then Strus isn't expiring yet, because him being expiring contract, well, let's get in there. It's not quite, but that would have been huge if it was. Zach Collins is an expiring contract, but it's all good. So let's go straight to qualifying offers. Hopefully Craig Porter Jr. is back. He is. All right, so this might be, well, I'm not going to say it's our last year, because I do want to win a championship before everything's all said and done. But man, this we'll see what happens. So let's get straight to next season. And we were able to convince Donovan Mitchell to come back. At the deadline, we could try to make another move. Proficiency under Mike Brown. We do have a new head coach, which hopefully should help. Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, Mobley, Allen, Kispert, Zach Collins, Sam Merrill, and Craig Porter Jr. and Max Drew. So we ran a 10-man rotation. I'm going to shrink this down to a 9-man rotation, and we're going to just wait this season. I don't think I'm stopping at the deadline. If Shrewsbury is an expiring contract, I'd consider it. But I think I'm just going to let it ride. So hopefully this season goes better. We've been a good regular season team. It's just been the Pacers that have knocked us out each time. So at the end of this season, we get the first seed in the Eastern Conference. If we draw the Pacers in round 1, I'm going to be a little annoyed. But hopefully we can get some revenge on them if we do, I guess. But 25 from Mitchell, 22 from Garland, 18 from Mobley, 12 from Jarrett Allen, 11 from Hunter, 9 from Zach Collins, and 9 from Corey Kispert. So it's not going to be the Pacers. It's going to be the Raptors instead. So we got Quickly, Bruce Brown, RJ Barnes, Pirtle, Wiseman, Tyus Jones, and Isaiah Hartenstein. So somebody current round against Toronto, and we are going to sweep them. So the great start, and Indiana gets eliminated. And now we get the Knicks team that obviously was the team that originally eliminated them years ago at this point. Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, Randall, Robinson, Quentin Grimes, Lonnie Walker. So this is almost the same exact roster this team ran into, other than they have OG now. So let's see if we can beat the Knicks, and we are going to beat them in 5. And now we get to play the Atlanta Hawks, which is another team that's just weirdly OP in 2K sometimes. I don't understand it at times, but sometimes they suck and sometimes they're really good. I don't understand it. But we took DeAndre Hunter from them earlier. Would, of course, love to eliminate them. Dallas and OKC on the other side. Somebody current round, and we're going to be in an even series with the Atlanta Hawks. Are we just going to keep losing here in the worst moments possible to other Eastern Conference teams we should be beating? And we are going to be in a close game 5. We are going to win it, though. 114-126. Donovan Mitchell with a huge 41. This is to get to the NBA Finals for the first time in a while. Can we do it? Of course, since LeBron James left, we got the Atlanta Hawks giving us all that they can. We are in Atlanta, so there is definitely a possibility they win this one. We got a close one down the stretch, and we are going to beat them to make it to the NBA Finals. Now we get to play Dallas or Oklahoma City. Of course, I'd rather play the Dallas Mavericks, but we are going to get the Thunder, of course. Why would we not? All right, so Dallas was kind of a weird team because they had Josh Giddey and Luka Doncic on the... I don't know if I love that pairing, but of course the Thunder, they don't have Josh Giddey anymore, but they do have Fred VanVleet, Casey Wallace, Lou Dort, Williams, Chet. They got Justin Edwards, Trey Jones, Mo Wagner, and Ousmane Deng. Game by game, 1-0, 126-98, 33-26. Great start. Game 2, 2-0. So far, so good. 3-0, and if we sweep the Oklahoma City Thunder, we are champions, and we do just that to end this one. So, Cavaliers going to win the championship. Evan Mobley, Finals MVP. Be on the lookout this week. It is trade deadline week. A lot of things are probably bound to happen, so make sure you have your eyes peeled. Hopefully that we get some trades this week. Leave some predictions down in the comment section below if you want to about what trades you're expecting to see. Other than that, I'll see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.